What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we're talking about me, I guess. We're gonna talk about me in this video at the request of Yanavano. You never know. Hey, that's what it is. You never know. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, guys. So, you never know asked me. Actually, I'll just read the message. Said, this is not a technical analysis request, but do you think it would be possible to drop some videos detailing how you are able to come to certain opinions and biases? I'm still learning and would love to learn not only how you chart, but how you do your overall analysis. Please and thank you, bro. Bro, it's a good question. It's a really good question. And I don't know. Oh, camera's disconnected. Yeah, looks like we're gonna have to wait till tomorrow. No, just kidding, guys. Let me reconnect this real quick. If we're talking about me, the camera's got to work, right? Look at the cat. The cat's going away, and the cat's back. No, it's okay, guys. So, how I do my analysis? That's a good question. Yeah. So, for me, charts are a big part of my analysis. They really are a big part of my analysis. It's not the determining factor in what makes me want to buy something, but it is the determinant factor in what makes me curious to buy something. What does make me determinate in buying things is the fundamentals. I have to like the fundamentals. I have to be aware of the tokenomics and be okay with the tokenomics to some degree, right? Um, I have to see potential in it as far as that goes. That way, I can at least understand it. I think everybody who invests in anything, whether it's a stock, whether it's crypto, even if it is stocks that I'm investing in, I'm talking about that too. Like everything, you have to understand at least some level of the fundamentals. And for crypto, a good way to do that is to look up the white papers, right? You should always look up the white papers. And not every crypto has white papers these days. I don't know why, what happened to the world of crypto. It used to be much more transparent. It's like if it didn't have a white paper, that was an obvious sign that it's a scam. But now there's coins that they can be legit and they don't have white papers, and I don't get why. It's like, why can't I? You're a legit project. Why aren't you letting me know about your tokenomics and stuff? Or maybe they're out there. They're just not as simple. It's not as simple as it used to be. But I'm complaining about things instead of explaining my analysis. So let's kind of just take a deep dive here, or not really so much of a deep dive, but let's pick a random coin. Okay, a coin that I don't ever talk about, right? I don't know. Ronin. I have no idea what Ronin is, what Ron is. This could be a total scam. Okay, but I'm looking at it here on Coin Market Cap, and this is probably a good first step, or some step along the way. I like to look and see what the market cap is, what the volume is. Okay, and if it's got less than, if I'm interested in buying something, I will look at the chart first, okay, but before we actually even get into that, Ron. And if I'm a little bit sporadic or all over the place, don't mind me, guys. I'm just sleep deprived right now. I'll look at the chart. On the long term, something like this would interest me. It would definitely interest me. Why would it interest me? Well, because it should be rather clear, and this is why the charts are helpful, right? You are at a relatively good buying point. Believe it or not, guys, breaking through a diagonal line is actually a really good thing. Oftentimes, it's once you break through the diagonal line that you find support and that you move higher. Let's see if we can find an example of that, maybe with Bitcoin here even, Look real quick, right? Let's see. On a weekly, and just as an example, right? Let's see here. So this might not actually provide us the example I was looking for. That actually looks pretty damn perfect. Maybe something like that if it was tighter, but that's not actually a good example of what I was looking for here. Right here. There we go. This will do it, right? So here, I'm sure a lot of people thought if here, let me do this. There we go. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of people thought that when we broke through that line, it was game over. Or when we did it again over here, they thought it was game over. But as soon as we broke through that line, we were at the lows. You know what I mean? It was actually a good time to buy. That line doesn't matter. Nobody cares about that line. You know why? Because the line that we did hold, and what you should focus on whenever I do my analysis, is the horizontal levels. You're finding support at a prior area of support. Now, when you're doing something like Ron, I don't compare it to Bitcoin. I was just using that as an example. You can look left and you can see that you are finding support at prior areas of resistance. It's not perfect. Let's be real. It's not perfect, but it still looks pretty good. It's not bad. I'll look at the fibs, see if I like where it is. It's in the golden ratio. Hey, it looks like a pretty damn good buying area. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting enough to me at least, right? Looking into it, I see Ronin, I see Ron here. this is not a shill. I've just randomly picked a coin. I was going to go to like the top 300, but I decided to do this because I've never heard of this coin before. I'm sure a lot of people have, and I'm not trying to insult it if just because I haven't. But what I'll look at the market cap, and I will want something that's on the lines of at least 5% volume, if not something that's on the lines of like 10% volume or more, to show me that there's interest in this thing, right? And moments like this might not be the most fair to judge, but even at times like this, you should have some level of volume that's relatively significant. So the fact that it has less, I think that's less than 5% volume. That's not necessarily exciting, but that doesn't throw me off, right? That doesn't throw me off. The chart still looks interesting, and that trumps the volume to me. Sometimes whenever it comes to consolidating, you do run out of volume, right? You do see lower levels of volume. Let me see if I can find something with some volume on it. USDT. Come on, where's my volume? Oh, it's loading. It's just taking a second to load. Anyways, let me do the math on that real quick. Again, guys, my brain's working slow. If it was 600 million, let's just say that roughly, 10% would be 60 million, right? You're nowhere near 60 million. 5% would be 30 million. You're nowhere near that. You're less than 5%. If you're at more than 5%, and you're in these boring times, I'd be more excited. But at the same time, I don't blame you, because boring times tend to, even in good projects, get away from volume. But volume is starting to pick up a little bit. So that's also kind of discouraging, I suppose, would be that the volume is picking up and it's still insignificant. But whatever. I think you're at a good place to buy nonetheless. That's a big wick there, buddy. Oh my goodness, that was a huge wick. MEXC let it slip hard, you guys. So, and again, volume's not the biggest thing, but generally speaking, to be completely fair, if I saw something like that right now, I might look away. But if I was determined, if I just, for whatever reason, I really like the chart, and to be completely fair, I think that the chart's fine here. You are at the golden ratio, this low to high, from a low to high here. You're at the 1618. You're at two golden ratios. Look, you're right at that golden ratio here, from that low to high, from this low to high. You're right at this golden ratio. The technicals, to me, they do trump the volume. But to be completely fair, I probably would look elsewhere, because there's plenty of cryptos right now that are at relative lows and have probably much better volume in proportion to their market caps than this. Okay, the next step is, and if it seems like it's slow, it's a slow process, guys. It's a slow process, and I'm just trying to figure out the right words here, because it's not something that's hard to do necessarily, but there's a lot of steps, and if you think you're getting the steps right and you don't understand what I'm saying, there's a lot of room for miscommunication. Okay, it's very, very technical. Let's just say, even if we're not doing technical analysis. Okay, I like to look at the tokenomics if I can find them, and obviously you can't find the tokenomics here, but I also do like to look at the max supply, which is 1 billion. The circulating supply, which is this. Okay, cool. So it's not fully diluted yet. The fully diluted valuation is 932. I'm assuming they got rid of some tokens, probably is what that means. We'll check out the white paper here in a second. But then I like to look at this, and I like to go to all. Very simple way of seeing things. Okay, you look at the price. Now, if I look at the market cap, and the market cap looks more bullish than the price to a large degree, that'll also turn me off. So here, well, it doesn't really give it to you. To be completely fair, if you look at it here, you were forming lower lows than what you had back in November of 2024, where in the market cap you're at higher lows now. So that means that there are some token unlocks that are happening that are basically propelling this thing down. The market cap is being sustained, but the price is suffering at the result of that. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to happen all the time. In fact, I would assume with as much as you have fully diluted right now, you're probably not going to have the price be impacted to a large degree, but to some degree, to some significant degree. It depends on when these tokens unlock, okay? But clearly, there's been some unlocks since October, November to now. There's no other way that the market cap could be at an increased price while the price itself has been diminishing. There's no other way that could happen, right? It's literally impossible other than what I've just explained. You look at the market cap here at the all-time high at the moment, that was at 292 million, 292 versus 1.3 billion. That's probably about what, like a 4x, something like that. A little bit more than a 4x, a little bit more. Let's just call it a 5x, but probably a little bit in between 4 and 5x, okay, in market cap, where the price itself, again, from that high to high, going on the closing basis is here, it was only a 2x or a 3x, you know what I mean? So again, the price, even though that was a phenomenal pump, the market cap pumped more, right? Like the price did an 11x here. Price did an 11x. So it's not hurting the price too much, but it is hurting the price to some degree. This pump probably would have been larger if there weren't token unlocks happening. So I'm curious about the white paper, and I got to say, something like this doesn't interest me already. I probably wouldn't be reading into it more, honestly, but this, let's just pretend like it did interest me and I was reading into it. Okay, do they have tokenomics? Oh, cool. Hey, that's nice. They have it posted on here. Normally it takes you to a website, but that's cool. We'll check out the website too, but I like to look at the overviews sometimes. Tokenomics, Ron is the main token. Yeah. Think of the fuel. Yeah. When you want to do anything, Ron. Yeah. Okay, let's see. These are not tokenomics. These are not tokenomics. These are not tokenomics at all, you guys. So that, again, more turning me off, right? It's not. But let's keep digging. I'm not like, let's pretend I was actually interested in this thing. So far, it hasn't interested me at all, other than the price. But a lot of the other stuff is turning me off. The one thing that I have a little bit of a tiff with is, why am I not allowed to know about the tokenomics? Why do you tell me about the tokenomics but not tell me about the tokenomics? You're just telling me what the token does, and that's not that. And that, don't get me wrong, that can play into the economic model of the token. I understand that, right? But whenever you look up tokenomics in crypto, traditionally, classically, whatever that means, crypto's not really that traditional, is it? But generally, it gives you some kind of chart or percentage points of token allocation. That's what I'm looking for. I want token allocation, unless there's some other, it's in something else, but I don't see anything like that, right? Team, yes. Technology. They didn't put it anywhere else. I'm not seeing any percentages or anything. So we're going to go to the website and see if we can find it there. Okay. Always be aware, you guys. Okay, don't just give out your information to random cryptos, even CoinMarketCap, and they're pretty good. If it comes with a warning sign, be aware. You could be clicking on something that has a phishing site. I don't think this one's a ripoff. I think that it's legit. I just don't think it interests me at all. But it could be, like, watch this thing be the best thing. I'm talking smack about it right now, and this is what I mean. Like, nothing is perfect. No form of analysis is perfect. In fact, generally speaking, the more that you don't like something, the more likely it is going to pump. The more you like something, the less likely it's going to pump as much as you think it is. Don't believe me? Ask yourself, what's the coin you're most excited about versus the coin that you wish you, or that you're thinking about buying but you didn't buy? I'm going to guess most of us have that experience where the coin that you were interested in underperforms compared to the coin that you sold it for, or the coin, like, literally, you sold a coin that's been boring, and then you buy a coin that you just suddenly take an interest in, and then that boring coin is the one that pumps, right? That happens all the time. So just because I don't have an interest in this personally doesn't mean that it's destined to fail. I hope nobody in the Ron or Ronin community thinks that. There's plenty of cryptos that have outperformed things that I'm holding, but they didn't interest me at all. You know what I mean? So I'm not perfect. None of this is perfect, but this is just how I do it, because I need to understand it to some degree and feel comfortable with it. It's all about that at the end of the day. You need to have conviction in your plays. If you don't have conviction in your plays, then just go to the meme coin market, man. Just gamble. Go to the casino. It's just a gamble, right? You need to have some kind of, if you're investing, you should be aware of what it is, right? And that's all we're trying to do here. Ecosystem. Ron staking more on Ron, explore dApps. That's cool. You know, there's a lot to go over here, but I'm not looking for that. I want to learn about the tokenomics white paper. Hey, there we go. Boom. That's what I wanted. Maybe we can get more than just the spark notes here. We'll actually get it. Let's see. And then, generally speaking, I've actually begun to just, like, cheat on this. I will just use Grok and ask about the tokenomics. Yeah, I'm going to be upset if they say tokenomics, they don't tell me the token allocation, because that's a big deal, right? Okay, Ron is the native utility. 10% of the total token supply was distributed over 90 days to community members who contributed liquidity on Katana, decentralized exchange. Oh, that's cool. Katana, who made Katana? I forget. That's not the one that Carl made, right? I don't think so. I mean, maybe it is. I forget. Katana. What the hell? Let me see. Katana exchange. Nope. Oh, it's okay. Ronin is, it's something with Ronin. That's kind of interesting, actually. But anyways, governance holders may participate. Blah blah. Medium of exchange. payment. Okay. NFT mints. So stakers and holder of Ron have received airdrops. So people, that's kind of cool, right? It's not so much just people who are participating in the DAO. It's not just so much people who are developing the coin and working on the project, which don't get me wrong, they deserve to get paid too. But whenever it's you're diminishing the market cap at the expense of your investors, I don't like that. Why as an investor would I invest in you? And there are coins that come to mind like that. No offense to the people who like ICP, but ICP is a perfect example of one of those coins, right? I believe, what's the other one? Is it Filecoin? Filecoin might be one of those coins too. But $6.23 right now. If we look at ICP, again, I'm getting distracted here, but I'm just making an example real quick. ICP. ICP, internet computer. It's not an internet computer, guys. It promises to be. It's got some promising aspects, but it's not what it says it is. It just promises to get there at someday, right? That's the other thing. You have to understand everything you read, guys. It's not facts. It's a wish. It's a promise to fulfill. Some of it is facts, but a lot of their mission statement, that's stuff that hasn't happened yet. That's why you invest in it, because it hasn't happened yet. It can grow if it stays true to its mission statement and achieves it, but every crypto's roughly got the same mission statement, so not all of them are going to achieve that, right? You look at the price of ICP, we're on an all-time scale going back to 2021, and you can see the price here. Now we look at the market cap, and you look at the market cap, while ICP has, I guess actually that doesn't look too bad, to be completely fair. Maybe I'm thinking of a different crypto, but hold on now. Let's see. So on the price here in March of 2024, you were basically tied up with the prices from March of 2022. Where in the market cap in March of 2024 here, you were actually tied up with the market cap of September 2021. So March of 2022 was over here. You can see this is where, look at the difference, right? Look at, if I'm going to keep this over here, but if you look to the right where this peak is right here, that's the difference in like the price and the market cap, right? This, at the same price here, you're at 3.7 billion essentially. And now at that same price over here in 2024, you're at double that. You're literally basically doubling that in market cap valuation. So over 2 years time, you literally doubled your supply at the expense of your price. And it's got a max supply, which doesn't encourage me. Fully diluted valuation is this right now, 3.3 billion. I don't know how much is going to get, I don't know if the tokenomics have changed at all, but stuff like that really upsets me, because then what you're doing there is in March of 2024, okay, again, just to put it in a better perspective, you were here in March of 2022, you were right here as well, but the market cap is twice as large here, which means really, if anything, you should have been twice the value here. So who's that hurting? And I drew that wrong. So from 20 it would be to $40. Who's that hurting? Well, it doesn't hurt the people participating in the ecosystem. It doesn't hurt the team. It doesn't hurt the people that the tokens are getting unlocked to. But it does hurt the investors. The investors literally missed out on what would have been a $40 to $45 price, right? Or at least something around 40, maybe a little bit less than 40, maybe it was like 35. But even still, it's hurting price growth at the expense of the investors. Here, you've got like a double bottom, even slightly lower lows, right? And then on the market cap, let's just see. Market cap, okay, the market cap actually is maintaining. So they haven't unlocked or printed more tokens, at least to hurt the market cap recently, or hurt the price versus the market cap recently. So that's encouraging. Sometimes I understand that token unlocks happen at various points, and that doesn't mean that it's always going to be like that. But whenever I see that kind of stuff happening, where it's literally affecting in 2 years' time, you literally double the supply, because that's what happens, right? If you're at the same price, but you've doubled your market cap from there, but you're at the same price, you've doubled your supply essentially. In 2 years' time, that doesn't, it's like 50% rate of inflation year over year, right? That's not encouraging, especially when you see the max supply is infinite. Talking about hurting the investor, the people who participate in the ecosystem and stuff like that, they get rewarded. But I'm an investor; I don't participate in the ecosystems normally, so a little bit of a distraction there. I hope it made sense, but just stuff that I look for. ICP, I was talking smack about it at first, and then actually looking at it here, maybe they've stopped, maybe they've changed their tokenomics. I don't know anything about the tokenomics really about it. I've read about it one time, but I forget, so I'm not going to go too much more into that. I want to keep reading on this here. But that's what I like about this is that stakers and holders of the token, they receive airdrops too. So it's not just people participating in whatever the ecosystem, whatever, if they're team members and they're getting their tokens unlocked after being locked for a certain period. There are also incentives for investors to hold too. That's good. I'm an investor. If I want to hold this thing, there should be incentives for me. There shouldn't just be incentives for people that aren't investing. That doesn't entice me as an investor to invest in you. Unless I know something that trumps all of that, which it's very rare that actually happens. But let's see. Still not getting any of the tokenomics. A little bit. We got a little bit. We got 10%, and then we understand that it's being released. It's being released to token holders and airdrops, right? So let's see. Ronin, can you tell me and cite the tokenomics of Ronin? And I ask him to cite it because sometimes Grok gets things wrong. So whenever I'm looking for this, I will always ask him to cite this kind of stuff. Token supply, but he can search things more so than I can. If he can't find it, then that really does turn me off, right? Maximum supply, yes. Token distribution. That's what I'm looking for. So staking rewards, 18%. Okay. That's good. Yeah. Bridge rewards, okay. Ecosystem fund, a portion initially managed by Sky Mavis to grow the Roman community. 10%. Hey. Fixed percentage. The docs historically 10% was earmarked for community incentives. The liquidity, that's probably what we read. First 90 days. Yeah, okay, cool. Team and advisors, 10 to 20%. Industry norms suggest 10 to 20%, but this is unconfirmed for Ron. See, I don't like that. That right there turns me off. I wouldn't, not only would I not want to invest in this, but I'd say, you guys, no offense, but if we don't know how much, right? What do we have here? Remaining supply, all allocated for operational needs, validator rewards, and future ecosystem growth unlocked gradually, which to me, I don't even know if I can trust that. To me, all I'm reading is this is for the team, the people that made it, not for the remaining supply. It's for the team. It's not for you. And I'm not saying that's true. It could very well be all these things that they're saying, and it could be good. But you don't give me sources. You don't give me sites. Grok says it's unconfirmed. I don't like that, right? I don't personally. That doesn't entice me. Why, as an investor, am I not allowed to know how your tokens are allocated? That's a very big deal. That's a very big deal. So why are you hiding it? Unless you have something to hide. That's my perspective. And if you don't have something to hide, well, you're stupid for not telling me. I don't normally use that word. I like to say silly, but you're absolutely stupid. If you have good tokenomics and you're not sharing it with the world, the people who want to invest in your project, you're stupid for not doing that. Ronin, you're stupid. Or you're a scammer. You're a not that smart scammer, but still somewhat sophisticated, right? Anyways, let's just see. So 18%. Plus 10% is 28%, plus 10 to 20% as an industry standard. Let's just run with that. Let's say they keep 30%, 18% plus 30%, which maybe they do, maybe they don't. We don't know. They could keep 50%, 10%, 18%, 30%. That's going to be what, 48%. And then what, the remaining supply? Like there is, you understand that even if they had a team and advisors allocation that was larger than what the industry standards are, and that is about right, 10 to 20%. Sometimes it's like 25% for the team. There's like half the supply that's unaccounted for, and I'm assuming that it's all so that they can stake and have airdrops and it's token rewards, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, right? I'm assuming that there's a big part of that there, right? But I'm also assuming that it could be a lot of tokens that are allocated to people who just got their hands in it early, people who built the project, and that's okay. The people who built the project, the people who own the project that created it, they should have a large token allocation, but it shouldn't be 50% or 60% of the supply, right? It shouldn't be that. And this says 10 to 20%, but we have, like, realistically what we have is only 18%, 18.1% that's accounted for. The rest, we don't know what it is. So that turns me off, right? That really does turn me off. I was hoping that we'd find something that would be interesting to look at, but this isn't the best one because then we could take it a step further. But let's say it was interesting. So if I did like this, if the team and advisors, they received 10%, if that was all they got, or maybe it said team and advisors 10% early round investors 10%, angel investors 10%, right? That's kind of all the same thing, because the early round investors, they're going to be people who the team and advisors talk to. If it says marketing, it's the same thing, because it's just all this, in my opinion. They'll say things, they'll say team and advisors, and then they'll say things underneath it or above it that are also that are the same thing as team and advisors. So don't believe everything you read, right? As if team and advisors is the only way that the people who made the project get money. There's other ways too. I don't know how to better explain that, but I'm not going to try to. Let's say that this thing did interest me. I would take it a step further, right? So if I was to take it a step further, what I would do now is, okay, the tokenomics interests me, the volume interests me, the price action seems to be at a good place to buy, which, hey, at least that part's true. Nothing in the white paper is or constitutes an offer to sell or buy or solicitation yet. That's cool. The disclaimer doesn't throw me off. Whatever. You should have a disclaimer, right? Individual analysis of the issues described in this white paper and may be proven incorrect in development or changes to Ronin blockchain protocol must receive approval from the validators. But again, the validators, the ones that are probably validating this, which again, if we read it on Grok here, that a large part of that unrealized token allocation. Let's see where we at here. Large part of that is going to go to token validators. I would assume the validators are, at least the majority of them, are probably the team. So then most of that's going back to the team and the advisors. But I would read the whole white paper. I would read every single freaking word. Every single word. I don't care if I understand it or I don't understand it, right? There are things, let's just see. I mean, there's probably things that I wouldn't understand. Right, like some of this stuff would be beyond me, but I try to understand it nonetheless, right? Like the math formulas, I'm good with math, but sometimes it's harder to read math than it is to conceptualize it if like someone's speaking to you, right? All this stuff, you could understand it if you really try and understand it, but don't get discouraged just because you don't understand every word. Try and read and understand as much as you can. If you can read and understand it, if it's to some degree something that you understand, and even if you don't understand everything, you can get behind the project, and that's good. That should entice you to buy it, right? But if you don't know anything about it, you're trying your best, you're putting time into it, you're trying to read it, and you just can't understand what the hell this token is, then maybe it's not for you. That doesn't mean that it's not a good project, but I really do believe that you should invest in things that you understand, something that you can have conviction in. How are you going to have conviction in something that you don't understand? And maybe if you're reading the white paper, you're really trying to understand it, and you just can't understand it, the best thing to do might be, and this is my last resort, and this is oftentimes people's first resort, but I think should be a last resort really, is to YouTube it. YouTube other people, because when you YouTube things, oftentimes you're looking up people who are shilling the project. They're paid shills. They have a token allocation allotted to them from the team, from the founders. It was literally meant to go to YouTubers to promote the project, right? Which means that these guys aren't promoting it because they think it's a good project. They're given a script. I know it's unbiased. They're given a script by the team that made it to promote the project, so they're only going to say good things about it. I'm just saying, right? So the last step really should be, if you're trying to get some further understanding of it, if you want someone else's perspective on it, it should be YouTubing it. But that's kind of in a nutshell how I do my analysis on something, if I like it or not, right? I need to conceptualize it and understand it, and then also, to be completely fair, I guess there's actually one more step we could take too. Oh, hold on. Then I might try and see, if it says explore ecosystem build, I probably wouldn't build. Let's just see, start building. What does that take me to? Reading blockchain, quick start. See, I see start building. It tells you how to build here, but there's nothing. I don't know. This might not be fair for this thing for me to do this right now, to be completely fair. Ronin wallet, Katana Dex, Ronin staking. I might see, something like this, because there are a lot of coins, you guys, that they'll say that they stake, and they do stake, but for the team. And then you try to go to their staking, and they actually don't. Like, it has something like this. It says everything. You try to connect the wallet, and then you actually can't connect your wallet. But I think here, yeah, it looks like I'd be able to connect my wallet if I wanted to. Yeah, I'm not gonna connect my wallet. I don't have it set up to my computer. It's through other means that I have it, but I think you'd be able to. It's important to see that the things that they're allowing you to participate in, that they work too. But that's kind of a last step as well. You don't want to just participate in a random project that you don't know about. So yeah, 35 validators. 35 validators, you guys, on a coin that, let's see. Come on now. Come on a coin that has $578 million market cap, I could only assume who those 35 validators are, or who the majority of them are. They are probably people who literally created this thing or had a vested interest in it from the very beginning, right? So it's the team. So a lot of these staking rewards, a lot of these rewards are going to the team, and it's under the guise of, hey, we're giving it out to anybody that invests. And if you're holding Ron, apparently you do get airdrops. So that's cool. That is kind of cool. That is a little bit interesting. But again, a lot of cryptos, they'll make it seem like they're rewarding participants when really it's just a way for them to reward themselves because they too are participants. So no offense to Ronin, but you absolutely don't interest me at all. The only thing that interested me was the price, and it probably does move up, but it won't move up as much as it could have if the tokenomics weren't shit, probably. So I got nothing else to say, guys. I hope that this was rather easy to understand. It's pretty basic stuff. It takes a lot of time. I went through it in this video at like Mach 7. It was a lot faster than how I do it normally. Like I will spend hours if I have to understanding one project and trying to understand it. If I don't understand things, I will look up and try to understand it as much as I can. And if I still can't understand it, well then boom, that's enough for me to move on, I suppose. I need to understand what a project is. And beyond all of that, whenever you read a white paper, whenever you read it, you should understand that not everything they're saying in their mission statement, not everything that they promise to be or promise to achieve is something that's actually going to happen or is something unique. If this is your first white paper you ever read, watch, you might be tantalized. Let me see if I can get back to this actually. Where's the Ronin, right? So Ronin white paper. Introduction. Let's just read this. Blockchain history, yeah. Blockchain, a path to economic freedom, yeah. Ronin strategy. Ronin takes a fundamentally different approach. I bet not. Let's see. The network focuses on innovation on Web3 mechanics. Well, that sounds like every damn crypto I've heard of this cycle. Leveraging tokens for user acquisition. What's new about you? What is fundamentally different? I don't understand. Fostering robust community building. Well, isn't that every crypto's mission? It prioritizes creating a vibrant, engaged user base from the outset. Initially, Ronin was developed to meet the needs of a single game and its community. This focused approach allowed for the refinement of the Ronin ecosystem, improve its viability before expanding outward. Yeah, so that, if you just read that and you're like, wow, that sounds really cool, then you're not listening, because all they're saying right here is they're just buttering the bread, man. They're just literally they're just blowing smoke. It's not none of that's impressive. If you're impressed by that, you need to probably not invest in things that you read the white paper on, I suppose. Maybe take someone else's advice at that point. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but permissionless blockchains effectively function as a global app store. Those that can scale, and this is not unique, none of this is unique. Those that can scale their social layer and foster lasting relationships with high retention products and services become the largest aggregators of demand. Okay, that's probably true to some degree, but is that what you're doing? Are you that? No, you want to be that, but no, you're not. Most cryptos want to be that, but they're not. Consequently, developers will naturally be drawn to the launch of their products and services on these ecosystems. Axie Infinity, utilizing the Ronin blockchain, became the first GTM strategy for a gaming blockchain, demonstrating the potential for a well-integrated and community-focused approach. Many other gaming blockchains struggle with adoption and lack a dedicated community and expose them to common risks faced by most blockchains, advanced technology without a solid user base. Sorry if I'm reading slow, you guys, or if I can't read properly. I'm like I said, I'm tired. All of this, it's like you're trying to say Ronin is better than all of these things, but it's not. It's the exact same, and if anything, it's probably worse than some of the best ones. If it's not, then I don't know why they don't tell us about their tokenomics. But Ronin is designed to bridge this gap. Yeah, it's designed to. That's the promise. That's the hope. So I'm just saying all this stuff so far, the first two paragraphs, let alone if we get to the third, fourth, you get the picture, right? It's just blah, 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 BS. We promise to be the greatest thing. It's like listening to a politician who wants to get elected. I am going to be the top crypto. I am going to bridge the gap between Web3 and the institutional players or the crypto communities. We are going to build the best community in crypto. We're going to have throughput. We're going to have interoperability. We are going to have scalability. All these things that every single crypto promises. It's just more BS, right? None of this interests me so far. But that's the introduction. Most of the time, the introductions are just a bunch of BS. You get into the nitty gritty. Sometimes there's if you're looking at a good project, sometimes there actually are things that interest you, and maybe there are here, but I'm not blown away. This isn't anything that's like it's more of the same. It's more of the same. So all I'm saying by that is not necessarily that if it is quote unquote more of the same to not get interested. Okay, if you're reading the introduction, you're reading this stuff and you're like, oh, this is just like everything else. If this is your first white paper, you might be blown away. But if you read 10 white papers, you'll see what I mean. They're all the freaking same, man. They really are. But that shouldn't turn you off. There's plenty of cryptos that I'm invested in right now that have white papers that are all the same, right? And that's okay. But the main purpose of me bringing this point up is not for you to get discouraged, but more to reserve your emotional status. If you're reading this, you're like, wow, this is the best thing ever. No, it's not. It's just like everything else. It's in a sea of cryptos that literally promise the same shit. It's nothing special, okay? At least not yet. If it becomes something special, cool. You know, that's the thing. There will be cryptos that do become something special. They actually do fulfill their mission statements. And that is good. But most of them just promise in one hand and then they shit in the other. And which one comes first? You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. So I've got nothing else to say. I hope that this was to some degree helpful for people. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to do your own. Subscribe if you want to watch more content like this. And I will see you guys on the next one. There are plenty of other strategies and more in-depth strategies to go whenever it comes to analysis, right? You should definitely not just take everything that I've said as like the how to do things, but this probably isn't even 100% of how I do things, but it's pretty damn good for like a general aspect of analysis. So that's all I got, guys. That's all I got. Take it easy. Bye-bye.